What's up? I'm Alise, and this is Tellot Tarot, where tarot isn't just guidance, it's also exploration. And on this channel, we go into territory most readers avoid, the uncomfortable, the shadowed, parts of love people don't like to admit exist. And the topic of today's reading is the darker side of their love for you. This reading isn't just about surface level attraction or pretty words. It's about devotion when it slips into the shadow. We're looking at the things love can push people to do when it runs extremely deep. What they lie to protect you, what they steal for you, what they cross lines they swore they never would in their lives. This is about desire, attachment, obsession, and the morally gray areas that show up when someone feels extremely bonded to you on a primal level. Not all love is gentle, some love is loyal and dangerous. Now, this doesn't mean every pile is going to witness an energy that involves a Joe Goldberg level of darkness. And quite frankly, I don't think anyone wants someone to be that devoted to them. But consider the idea that not all dark behavior is external. Sometimes it can be internal as well. So if you like readings that go where others won't go, then go ahead and subscribe. And if you see a kind of reading anywhere like this, you saw it here first, okay? Grab a snack, relax your mind, and when you're ready, choose your pile. Pile 1, I'm gonna be direct and just begin your reading right here. Your person is willing to scheme and manipulate among the shadows for you if it means you get to benefit. That is what most of their darker devotion is, or at least what Spirit allowed me to divine for this reading. Now, before I explain further, let's divert our attention to the image I selected with your pile. After taking a good look at it, I thought, this image can be interpreted a multitude of ways. Person this hand belongs to is completely enshrouded in shadow. We don't know what their motive is, who they truly are, or what they're capable of. And yet their hand lightly grazes the blade before them. Are they inclining the person before them to take the blade for themselves? If they are, for what purpose, right? Good, evil? Or are they reaching to take the blade for themselves? Would they use it to harm? Or are they delicately asserting that the viewer can't be trusted? This image plays well into the darker nature of your special person. Pile 1, your person would become a mastermind, a puppeteer who would mostly use communication to influence others negatively or positively, all for the purpose of your reputation. Two particular situations were popping up for me. But your person's manipulative ways can be applied to any scenario where they feel they need to not only protect, but elevate you. However, the two we're going to explore are what is sticking to me the most with the energy of the cards. Now, one scenario is where they influence others. The other is where they influence you. But both pertain to your self-confidence in a way. So let's look at scenario 1. Okay. Let's say you started a new job months ago. You show up on time, you don't receive complaints, you're good at your job, because why wouldn't you be, pile 1? That's why they hired you. On paper, you're a great employee, but socially, you may struggle. The environment itself may not be as friendly as you hoped when you took the contract or the job, and this is because, let's say one person has had it out for you. Regardless of who and why, your person listens to you after work about your discomfort. Every time you blow off steam about your work bully, they take note and tuck the information away for the future. Eventually, let's say there's a work party you bring them to as your +1. And while you're not paying attention, or say you're visiting the restroom, they get to work on your behalf without you knowing. They use whatever charm, in-person rapport they've already built with the other coworkers you actually do like, and information they peeped from their own recon to win favor for you while simultaneously sowing seeds of doubt against the adversary. This can look as subtle as casually dropping a rumor in conversation that is just plausible enough to others because there is some truth to it. Or they may take a different route by planting a good story about you in the ear of your boss's closest confidant. Now, you would think that because the gossip card is here and it's not showing the shadow attribute, that I'm off target, but it's the energy that's intuitively telling me that your person is an opportunist when it comes to the PR, the public relations they perform for you. Your person's maliciously getting off on embellishing here, and they're also omitting. So they embellish here and they omit there. And honestly, with this scenario, they're just playing the game, okay? Now, scenario 2, this is a scenario where it's not someone outside your home or in the outside world that's the enemy, okay? It's you. This could be a pile that has struggled with self-confidence in the past, boundaries, people-pleasing. For you, self-love, like others, is a journey, but your mind is what presents you with the largest obstacles. You've doubted your appearance, your capabilities, your influence, your gifts, whatever it may be. And your person is very aware. Why would they not be? Because they love you. They may not know entirely to what degree you negatively self-talk or what the warden that runs the prison of your mind says to you day in and day out, but they can read well enough to get an idea. So when you're feeling insecure, your person gets to work on you. For example, let's say you want to start a business, but admit you have a little imposter syndrome in a vulnerable moment. Your person is going to listen for sure and let you have your moment and be supportive. But once they clock it, they set a plan in motion. They're going to slowly drip, drip, drip in conversations, ideas, talks about similar situations to influence you. This is someone who doesn't mind using reverse psychology. They'll mention they ran into an old classmate who used to be insecure and overlooked back in the day, who happened to start their own business and now see success, but they won't tell you that blatantly. No. This person weaves information into the conversation so it's not too on the nose, because they still need you to do the work to accept what you're hearing and seeing. Funnily enough, I was showering and watching Community today. I'm rewatching the whole series for the 11th time. And I was watching the episode where Annie decides that she wants to date Vaughn after Britta dated Vaughn. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Community. Let me know in the comments. In this episode, Jeff and Britta pretty much come up with a scheme to deter Annie from Vaughn, or at least like break them up, because they think that Vaughn's a douche and they want to, let's say, quote unquote, protect Annie because she's the youngest in the group. So they end up manipulating Troy, who Annie had feelings for in the past. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because literally in the shower, Jeff, the character, says something like, pretty much telling Britta, like, look, I'm a master manipulator, okay? And the best manipulation is not influencing someone directly as to what you want them to do. It's to make them feel like it's their idea and that's something that they've always wanted to do. And I think that's what your person is like. In this scenario, say, like, this person will say that they, like, they'll bring this old classmate up lightly in conversation and mention, oh, we caught up and this is what she does now for a living, and they're temperature checking already right at the beginning, and so, like, they'll temperature check you. They'll mention what the person does, and it's like, okay, you don't seem apprehensive, because the other day you were really vulnerable. And then they're gonna let things flow. Okay, now it seems like you're a little interested in what this other girl does, from what I've said. Why don't I just show you her Insta, And see, what your person's doing is they're going, no, I'm gonna show you her Insta, not her website, because that might be too much right now. They don't want the polished look of where this girl is now successfully to trigger that imposter syndrome that you are struggling with. No, they're going to show you her old Instagram first, where her journey began, where things were unpolished, grainy, messy. She was way further back regressed than you are right now, and they're gonna keep doing this in a multitude of different ways, doing these little things to help guide you to a better sense of security, because they love you and they want you to succeed. And you may ask, well, Alise, this doesn't seem very dark. I may do this myself every now and again, and I understand. But the energy is showing me that your person is a lot more extensive with their effort, okay? You play checkers, they play chess, okay? You influence toddlers to eat their peas and carrots. Okay, your person will come up with a 15-part 2-year plan with a mental all points bulletin in the back of their mind if it means you benefit. So yeah, they're a manipulative vigilante for you. And I do believe that they like it. This is the kind of guy for sure who's, they'll probably like Batman or Assassin's Creed or something. You or them could also be a Virgo Venus. Maybe they got some Scorpio going on. You don't have to be, you don't have to take that for real. But regardless of what scenario you may fit into, your person could do some impulsive things at times, or at least be attempted to. With the selfie fail card on the screen, I definitely intuited that they would also break someone's phone or their property if they got heated enough on your behalf. In the extreme, they could for sure try to remove someone from your environment, if not your life, if they thought you were being discreetly taken advantage of with the vampire card. And when I say remove from your life, I don't mean acts of violence. This person, I do believe, is very protective of you, but in more subtle ways. So, tell me in the comments if you caught your person doing things for you similarly to what I've mentioned. Now, something else that's not so subtle is that if you guys are pursuing any goals in the social media department, trying to become content creators or be seen on a platform, this person does entertain thoughts of sabotaging rivals on your behalf. Maybe this person has certain knowledge about tech, or they would purchase bots or something to spam an enemy's socials. Or on the other side, they could show their devotion in the shadows by replaying your videos to give you views, say if you're on YouTube or TikTok. I don't know if that works or not, but whatever. Which, speaking of though, let me pause so you can press subscribe, because I'm devoted to you through building this channel. One last thing I am getting here too is that your person could be a little obsessive about you at times. And this does make sense because it touches on their ability to move people around like chess pieces on a board. They could just watch you a lot. Whether or not you're trying to be seen in the public eye, they can also be very hyper vigilant of who, what, when, where, and why when it comes to you. This person you're thinking of, they could have an obsessive personality or an obsessive attachment type, if that's a real thing. And this is why it may be easy for them to plant information and move people like pawns in a game regarding you. They're very aware of everything when it comes to you because they can't take their eyes off you. But I can't shake this clairsentient feeling of obsession through observation. Like watching my favorite TV show because there is an actor I'm parasocially attached to. And of course your person isn't parasocially attached to you. Maybe for some, maybe they are, I don't know. But this reading is intended to be for someone that you are already, kind of romantically involved with in a capacity. But regardless, I do think this person, and now that I really think about it too, intuitively it's coming back to me, I think this person, back to the selfie fail card, I did want to mention, I did get that this person would even, this person again, it's really manipulative and smooth, right? It doesn't always have to be social things. They don't always have to plant information in people's ears or talk about someone or something like that. It really could be a matter of they're just sneaky as heck, and they might distract someone real quick and say, hey, real quick, so-and-so was saying they were looking for you, and then that person leaves their phone or something, and then they end up doing a little oops, and it's someone's phone ended up in the street, or I don't know, ran over, or I don't know. But of course, that is a little too, again, on the nose and too obvious. But so I'm saying your person is sneaky enough to where they're okay, yeah, if I tell so-and-so this, and then I just have this, here I have an alibi there, and I can make sure, I know that camera's over there, so I'm gonna fuck the shit up and then and then dip. So it could be really that too. I think your person could also like wearing dark hoodies or face coverings like shiesties, or their wardrobe can consist of a lot of dark clothing or coloring. They could also have dark hair. Also, with that selfie fail card, I'm now also getting that it could be your person that has just a big ass crack in their phone screen right now, or they used to, or they typically do. Like, they're always cracking their shit. Also, I did hear the saying, the messiest person you know is a man. So your person could stir the pot for entertainment, period. I also was getting, this is a Real Housewives pile, so shout out to those who watch Real Housewives. Your person might watch them with you. So if your person has a favorite housewife, let me know. Especially for what franchise. So to wrap this all up, when it comes to the darker side of your person's devotion to you, this is a lover who will sabotage, observe, and manipulate socially if it means yourself and the remainder of the world put you on the pedestal they believe you deserve. It's actually kind of, what a scheming and conniving lover, romantic interest, or partner you have, pile one. That's what I have for you. I hope to see you in another video. Let me know what you think of this reading. Bye. Pile 2. What a difference from the first pile, I will say. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and start. What darker things will your person do for you because of their love or devotion to you? Pile 2. Your person will allow you to dictate their life, control them at times, if it means another day of receiving your love or you being together. Pile 2, this reading, just a heads up, make it a little weird, but I'm always going to be honest about the energy I divine and pick up. If I'm right, I'm right. If it doesn't resonate, then so be it. Okay? Your person is a little bit of a mess internally, from what I picked up. They could struggle with emotional regulation, like experiences of depression, mood swings, or suppressed feelings. However, I'm getting that for most of you, this doesn't present in the first way you would think or that comes to mind. I got that your person's struggles with emotional maturity are expressed outward through gullibility and insecurity. And if you're thinking about clicking off, hold on, girl. Okay, just let me make my point real quick. With your cards, it feels like your person is very attached to you. And if they aren't necessarily attached to you exclusively as your partner, then they for sure are attached to the idea of you in their life. Compared to pile 1, whose person would manipulate others socially to benefit pile 1. Your person is the opposite, in my opinion. Their darker side is a detriment to them, in which if you ask them to jump, they won't even ask how high. They'll just assume you meant out the window because they want to do whatever you tell them to if it means they keep your heart. However, this isn't a dark behavior that is continuously a running program for them. They mostly roll over and show their belly or do whatever tricks you command of them when you're not on good terms or you need space. And that is why I mentioned them being emotionally dysregulated, because I think for a lot of you, your special person's inner state is dependent upon how you feel about them at any given moment. This connection may be a little chaotic and slightly toxic at times because you're both showing up reversed. But with the Two of Cups, you guys are soulmates. I mean, you're meant to be in one another's lives, at least at this time, in my opinion, with that card showing up. So let's do some examples here because, for example, I got like, say you guys are having a rough chapter and you decide to separate. During that separation, you, pile 2, begin a new spiritual journey with the intention of growth involving your conversion to a new religion. Well, this person will invest themselves in this new religion as well. If you tell them, well, I want to marry someone Catholic, then they will go to mass alongside you and try to convert at some point. Mind you, this person was agnostic or an atheist. Like, that's what I'm getting. If you're in a relationship with them and you have a falling out, you could tell them you're both going to abstain from adult activities for an extended period of time until you say otherwise, and they will fold like a lawn chair if it means you come back. Even in lighter situations outside of your connection experiencing obstacles, your person is really fond of you. And with the Advocate card, if you guys have any charities, nonprofit organizations, or lifestyle choices that are near and dear to you, your person's devotion will show through their own devotion to the things that you care about. And now on the darker side, this is expressed as putting their hard-earned money and free time into what you devote yourself to, just to keep themselves in your good graces and to maintain this regulation that's codependent on you. They would spend money, do physical labor, and change their habits for you. And if you decided you wanted to move cities or states, they would follow you. Okay? If you told them, I don't think eating animal products is ethical for us right now, and they felt like you were slipping out of their grasp, they would go vegan. If you told them, hey, there's this cool new YouTube channel called Tellot, we should subscribe, they would subscribe in a heartbeat. Okay? And that is what is dark here, because if you're willing to change who you are for someone else instead of changing who you are for the purpose of true evolution, spirit is gonna say yikes. And those examples I gave you before, some are a little lighter. It really just depends on the person, right? For some of you, it's just your person being like, okay, yeah, let me sign up for this thing, or let me start reading this book, or yeah, okay, they don't want to do no touching and heavy petting. All right, we're not going to do that because, I just want to make sure that she comes back home to me or whatever, right? But for others, it really is that deep. I think this person is ready to jump into whatever you are interested in or you are shifting your life towards if they get to be a part of it. And I'm sorry, but your pile is not one that you can easily romanticize. So I'm just being honest here. But to focus on the darker side some more, of their love and devotion to you, I did get the energy that your person would compete for you if they felt your connection was threatened. Now here comes the weird part, okay? Trigger warning. All right? And what's crazy is that this came out instantly when these cards, when I slang these cards. And if it resonates for you, it resonates for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? But for some of y'all, and this is a but, it's a big but, because you're gonna be like, pause. Some of you. After I say what I'm going to say next. So bear with me, because like I said earlier, your person is not operating within their emotional sovereignty when these darker moments overtake them. Or if these darker moments, overtake them. But some of y'all's person would consider, if not, become a cuckold for you if you asked, okay? If they thought you were walking out for good, they would be willing to open up your relationship or let you connect with others intimately at your request. But this would be a last-ditch effort just to keep you close to them. And now you see kind of what I'm talking about, it's a little desperate. It is. I don't know what kind of chokehold you got them in, and it's probably not the best one, because you're showing up as Queen of Wands Rose, and you might be like, okay, hold on, Alise, I'm really not, I'm chill. If looking at this energy some more, this is how your person is definitely, I guess, perceiving you, or at least this is what they're projecting onto you. For a lot of you, this is what this person projects onto you. Like I said, heavily dependent on your moods, right? So this might be, maybe this person has abandonment issues, or this person is just very sensitive, but if you're not with it, I think they are kind of just okay, grasping at straws, what am I gonna do? And for some of you, it might be okay, we gotta have a threesome, and we're all grown here. My videos are not for children, so if you're 18 years old and above, good for you. But your person would consider that. And when it comes to the competition, I think this has to do with your person obviously having some things to work on, but I think they're a little insecure about obtaining you or keeping you, because this Two of Cups energy was really presenting itself to me clairsentiently as two people who are very highly enthralled, or at least one person is. Two of a kind, glued at the hip. However, not everything lasts. And if you look at the card, there's that broken arrow at the top, and it's your person fearfully and realistically knows that it's a possibility that you are not going to be together forever, right? There's always a possibility. And even if you ever walked away from them, they would throw themselves at your feet on their knees if it cost them, even if it cost them their respect just to stay in your life. They may have fears for sure of another suitor stealing you away with a level of romantic charisma that they don't believe they're confident enough, or they aren't confident enough to emulate. And if this reading is resonating at all, because it's unlikely it is resonating for a lot of you, and that's cool. Tell me in the comments if you and this person are on good terms or what your relationship is like, because again, even after coming back to the energy a few hours later, it's making me feel insecure. I don't know if you're mad at this person, or you're just one of those people who are very intimidating when you're mad. Maybe you're separated or just have a domineering personality, but the energy to me matches someone who at times will be desperate enough to do whatever they have to keep someone from falling out of love with them. Now, I'm not saying that this person is so desperate that it's to an extreme or a dark side where they will hurt or harm themselves. No, but I do think Spirit is actually presenting a red flag here. Just for you to be aware of. If you really care about this person, you want them to grow and develop, you might have to have a conversation with them, and be like, hey, just want to check in. Maybe we should start thinking about therapy, because you can't be so dependent on me. I had an ex-husband who was like that, so I really understand this energy. It's in the extreme, it's giving, what can I change about myself to keep the one I love around if our relationship isn't working out or our connection is dying? On the more healthier side, I do hope this person, like I said earlier, is considering therapy to help build their self-worth and confidence, because I do think they need it, or there's some more work. But going back to the side of things where they would join an organization or a lifestyle for you, I think this person would cape for you hard, even if they didn't necessarily care about what you care about at first. I do think on the healthier side, even though it's still dark, their love for you is deep enough to where they tell themselves internally, I don't care right now, but I'm going to make myself care. And they will go from sitting silently beside you as an observer during, say, group gatherings and public events, to at least educating themselves so they can speak correctly when they're addressed about issues or topics that matter to you. Someone here in this pile could be an activist, or you guys could be affiliated with like PETA, or you are here for climate justice and and trying to fight climate change, things like that. And whether or not your person cares about initiating change or those things, because that's their business, we're not here to get into that. If you told them it mattered to you and they were afraid that maintaining an indifference to your passions would cause a rift, they would be the first to log in to the Zoom meeting and the last to leave, okay? Or the first name on the sign-in sheet, sitting in a little conference room after work. MLMs or multi-level marketing schemes also came up for this as well. If you're trying to sell term life insurance on Facebook groups and your person is another body on the Zoom meeting, they're doing that because they want to help show, like your future downline that you're successful. Okay, that's like an example too. They still may not give a darn, but if it keeps them next to you, they will care enough. So that's what I have for you, pile 2. Let me know in the comments if this is resonating, obviously. But yeah, shout out to you and your person. Let me know what the tea is for real, because I genuinely, it's itching me, or it's like burning. Like, I need to know what's up with y'all's relationship. I hope to see you in another movie. I hope to see you in another reading. Bye now. Pile 3, welcome. We may have a visitor or two from pile 1 as well, so welcome back. Pile 3, what are some darker things your person will do because they are devoted to and love you? Pile 3, I'm getting that your person is willing to blackmail for you. Straight up, I gotta be honest. We have the scribe and God reversed. The light attribute for the scribe is preserving knowledge and information, while the shadow attribute of the God archetype is despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. And knowledge is power. It doesn't get much clearer than that. If pushed to the dark side, your person takes sensitive information of your enemies or those they feel will cause you harm, and they tuck it away for a special occasion. Okay? Somebody's got a notebook, a journal, or is very familiar with the notes app in their phone. For some of you, Your person has no need for the analog form of information storage and capture because they have the memory of an elephant. Every a-hole that has done you wrong, every naysayer of yours, or social media bird that has beef with you has secrets. And those secrets are tucked away neatly in a designated corner of your person's mind. Okay? And when you yap about she said this, he did that, they're listening, okay? And if there ever comes a moment where they believe a line has been crossed, they don't mind going to that little secret treasure box of theirs and pulling out some licks. All right? You disrespected pile 3, baby. Come for 3, and we can talk about those racist and homophobic tweets you thought you deleted from 2016 with your employer. Okay? Your person doesn't mind weaponizing information to cut down people they deem a threat or at least a nuisance to you. And honestly, that's the kind of ride or die that I need. Another scenario I'm getting with this energy for your pile is that if you get swindled, scammed, or a contract doesn't work in your favor, your person will be the one to scour the terms and conditions and find loopholes and clauses that give you an advantage to seek retaliation. You know, this is a pile where, like, if your person is in the legal field in any way, okay, I'm talking a lawyer, paralegal, or they're studying law or something, you know what I mean. They have the resources and a developed ability to dissect legalese if needed. Even if they have no legal background, your person is going to go line by line. They're going to ask questions. They're going to gather the information they need to prove you were done wrong and or taken advantage of. Then they're going to go to the other party and make threats. Like I said, the god archetype in reverse signals despotism. And for y'all who don't know what that word means, let's break it down real quick, okay? Because we can all learn some vocabulary every day, okay? Strengthen our minds. Despotism means to exercise your power in a cruel and oppressive way, okay? That's just straight up, like, your person's not playing. So if your person believes they are in the right, they're going to make phone calls or march right up to whoever's doorstep and point the dirt that they have at their, like, target like a loaded pew-pew, okay? And they can behave this way on the quieter side, as mentioned previously, by, let's say, like, sending a DM to the person's employer, with, you know, or sending a DM to that person themselves with, like, a vague but threatening screenshot from a burner account. They may send an email or drop just enough dirt to another shark in the adversary's waters so they smell an incoming tower moment like blood in the water, okay? Your person is willing to set up and blackmail. Or your person, they can get loud and rambunctious. You know, I feel this type of aggressive energy would be saved for immediate threats, like, say, like a jerk is getting two in your face on a drunken bar night and they're trying to scare you. Or for larger businesses and corporations or contracts you have, as previously mentioned as well, they're going to keep track of phone calls. They're going to keep track of correspondence, timelines, and dig up dirt like previous instances of unfairness experienced by others in your position and such. You know, your person be building Ricos. And it's like whoever screwed with you, like whoever screwed with you can do it the quiet way or the loud way. We can do this the easiest way or the hard way. And even as I'm talking here again, I swear some of y'all are from Pile 1, because I mentioned in Pile 1's person might like to watch Real Housewives with y'all. I'm getting Heather from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You know, receipts, timelines, like your person has it. Okay, you do not want to F with them. Right? They can do it the easy way, they can do it the hard way. And you know, your person is like, you know, again, like even thinking about like the, say again, you've had a crappy experience with a corporation or a business, right? You know, your person is like, look, okay, look, we can have a little sit down with some tension and I can bring an arsenal of reputation destroying data handed to you in a manila folder. Or, you know, I can just give the evidence to a journalist. How about that? You know, or, you know, there are a lot of aspiring TikTokers who want to be journalists themselves, or they just like mess, you know, or if anything, if y'all don't want to listen to me, I can just stand outside with a megaphone and rage. That's all I need to feed me and keep me going is rage. That's what your person is. And for your person, they're like, yes, it's their choice. It's their choice. They're not going to quit. And you, Pile 3, if you could glimpse into your person's mind, you would find ish on people from years ago, collecting dust and cobwebs. And you would look at them like, dang, like, how'd you find out Gina from accounting was cheating on her husband with Jamal from HR? You know, you'd be like, yo, like, I worked there 5 years ago. And they'd sit there, chill, respond like, it don't matter how I found it, she was trying you. You know? And what's funny is that I think your person is very chill. I don't think they overstep boundaries like that. And if you have an issue with someone, that's your fight, your business. You know, they're going to let you handle it because you're grown. But in case you want to tag them in, they got a chair or two hidden under the ring. They don't mind busting you up in the back of the head with. It's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. Your person builds Ricos on people and they do not care. They don't care. And this does apply to competition as well, Pile 3, it does. For quite a few of you, your person doesn't mind cutting out the romantic competition by using bad news or rotten information they learned about another suitor to eliminate their chances with you. And your person is scary in that way, okay? They know exactly what to say, how to say it, when, and to who to catch their little mouse, okay? This pertains to obtaining the info they want to use against the opposition as well as using it. And just like Pile 1, you know, I told them, I said their person plays chess. Your person is the same. They play chess, not checkers, okay? And if another person hurts you, period, you know, say a friend or a family member severely disappoints you or betrays you, they hold on to the secrets that you let slip about their bad side when you was, you know, having your moments of frustration, you was venting. Yeah, they know they're a sponge, okay? They absorb, okay? And all it would take is you asking them to take them down, and they would. You know, your person does not play about you, Pile 3. At least this dark side of them doesn't, okay? So y'all's reading, or the energy was like so like in my face. I love it. I mean, look at the megaphone, right? Like this person is just like it's like what they do on the outside is silent, but the effects are loud, okay? Like, and I don't know why my brain just said topple governments, child. Like, it's like your person, I love this energy. I really do. Like, and looking just like with Pile 1, now I have the desire to like really look at the photo that I just like chose for your reading, Pile 3. And you know, this person really just might, like, again, like we have Ace of Cups here, like this person loves you, like they are going to like pour into you. And if that means like holding an arsenal of data and information, old letters, old photos, like whatever, and let it collect cobwebs and dust in their head and make their brain break down over time with dementia, that's fine. Like they have something to use if they need to protect you. And with the image, you know, with the heart like resting in between these, it's like this person is like, no, you're delicate. And I think maybe in this person's feelings for you are delicate. It's like, don't come for my person. Don't come for Pile 3, you know? So in conclusion, the darker side of your person's devotion to you, Pile 3, involves them being the feds, pretty much. You know, they be building cases and they have a 95% conviction rate. I'm not even gonna play with you. They don't mind getting and playing dirty when it comes to you and your honor. They will scour the internet, go to the library, you know, look at the archives, ask around the hood, listen to conversations, and analyze legal documents to acquire information on your enemy to use against them in an absolute abuse of power. They don't care. And if you want to guilt trip them about it, that's fine, but they love you so much, like, so somebody has to do it. I think that's how they feel. Somebody got to do it. And if you feel too morally superior to do those things, that's fine. They will be the dirty one in the connection of the relationship. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, Pile 3. Feel free to don't feel free, okay? I mean, 'cause it is free to subscribe. Why don't you just go ahead and do that for me? Like, are we not friends already? I know your person now. Like, me and them, like, I know now the dirty things that your person does. So why don't you just subscribe for me and I'll keep my mouth shut. Anyway, I hope to see you in another reading, y'all. Bye.